Hello, welcome to Chef Richard's Kitchen. I'm Chef Richard Miller. As I mentioned on a previous episode, St. Patrick's Day is coming around very soon, in fact within a week. And I thought, well, why not make some recipes to kind of honor the Irish, since, St. Patrick was kind of the patron saint of Ireland. Supposedly, he drove the snakes from Ireland, but that's been debated. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And he pretty much used the three-leaf shamrock, back when he was teaching the word of Christ. He was using that as to explain the Trinity. So St. Patrick's Day is pretty much an Irish, relates back to the Irish anyway. So I thought I'd make some typical Irish dishes for this. Now, remember, what I make and what somebody else makes for the traditional Irish, meal, maybe somewhat different. But this is the way I'm going to make it. This is the way I'll teach you to make it. We're going to make Colcannon. And what that is it's a mashed potato with a mashed cabbage, scallions, bacon, and parsley, and onion dish. And I've got the potatoes over there boiling right now. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to cut up the cabbage. And so really, what our ingredients are going to be, there'll be a little salt and pepper to taste if needed. But there's the potatoes, cabbage, a couple of sticks of butter, green onions or scallions, some bacon or ham. Most cases they use smoked ham. I'm just using bacon, and some chopped parsley. So let's go ahead and let's cut up the cabbage. Now, the first thing you see is that I cut the stem out of those. That stem is very fibrous. It's not real good. You don't want it. So just go ahead and cut it out. Second, let's just go ahead and let's cut our cabbage up. All right. Now, remember, these are kind of, they may be a little big, but remember, we're also going to cook them down. So that'll reduce them quite a bit. Okay, here we have our chopped cabbage. Now let me go over and check the potatoes and see how they're doing. Okay, time's up. The potatoes are done, so let's go ahead and get them out of the water, and let's go ahead and mash them while we let the cabbage cook down until it's nice and tender. I went ahead and I stuck a fork in these, and they came out very, very tender. So I'm going to go ahead and take and drain these in the colander now. here we have our potatoes in our bowl. So let's go ahead and mash them. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and put a stick of butter in these. Now I also have a 1.25 cups of hot water. So if we need any more liquid in there, we'll just use that water. All right, let's add just a little bit of this. Now, you notice I didn't add the entire measuring cup of milk. And the reason for this is we don't really know how much moisture there is in the potatoes and how much is left over from the boiling. So, if we need it, we have it there. If we don't need it, we'll go ahead and leave it out. So let me go ahead and check on the cabbage now, and it should be ready in a little bit. Be right back. Cabbage is pretty well cooked down, and what I did was I took the potato masher and I went in and I mashed in the cabbage a little bit to kind of make it a little finer. So let's go ahead, and we have a couple of things we have to do to the cabbage. So let's go ahead and let's drain it through the colander, and I want to put it back in the saucepan, and we want to do a few things with it. All right, here we have our cabbage. It's cooked down. So let's go ahead and I'll bring this back to the detail camera. And what I want to do is I want to take and I want to put our scallions in there, and I want to put part of our bacon in there. Okay, and now let's go ahead and let's cook this down a little bit more. Now, one thing I want to do here is I want to take some more of this butter, and I want to put that in. Now what this is going to do is the onions and the bacon and the butter, and I'm going to put a little salt and pepper in here, are going to give this some flavor. And then that's going to carry over to the flavor to the potatoes. Now, if we need a little more salt and pepper at the end, fine. We'll go ahead and do that. Okay, let's taste it now and see how it is. Needs a little more salt. Magnificent. Let's go ahead and turn this off. And let's go ahead and let's put this in with our potatoes. Alright, let's take and put some chopped parsley in there. Alright, now let's see what it tastes like. It's pretty good, it really is. But I just want to add a little bit more salt. A little bit more pepper. And the rest of our bacon. Now let's go ahead and stir this again. I think this is a pretty good consistency. I don't want it any more liquid, but I don't want it any drier either. So I think this is just, if the taste is there, let's go ahead and just consider it good to go. Very good. Now, let's go ahead and let's plate. All right. Now, when you serve Colcannon, what what you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to put it on the plate, and you want to put a little well in here. All right? And what you want to do is you want to put a piece of your butter in there. And the reason for that is that way people can take a little bit of potato and dip it in the center of the well, and get a little butter on it. So let's put just a little bit of parsley on there for garnish. And here we have it, Colcannon. It's extremely easy. It takes a while, just because you're doing all the cooking, the boiling, or the potatoes or the cabbage and cooking the bacon. But, once it's done, other than just taking the time to do it, it's extremely easy. So I highly recommend that you give it a try, especially with St. Patrick's Day coming on. So, once again, thank you for watching my episode. I really appreciate you tuning in. Please remember to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up on this. And for heaven's sakes, let me know how you do. If you go ahead and do this, if you have any questions, if you want to ask me something, tell me how you've done, how you made a change in it and it tasted better. For heaven's sakes, let me know. Until then, thanks again for watching. Remember, cooking should always be fun, and I hope by watching this you realize it is. And we'll see you next episode. Take care. We'll see you later.